Basuti Bolo is going to be our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. She is an NO Chair Educational Technology at Africa University in Zimbabwe, Space Science Technology and STEM Promoter, Ambassador at United Nations Office for Outer Space Affairs, Space for Women Network Mentor, Director for Mobile Studies Africa, Advisor and a peer reviewer for higher education and research. Her initiative aims to drive SGD4 and get more women and girls to study the STEM program to drive the Sustainable Development Goals and solve global challenges to empower women and reduce gender inequality. Let's go ahead and welcome her on board.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Basuti Gerty Bolo. I'm an endowed chair educational technologies at Africa University. Today, I'm going to present about the STEM education-based system as a sustainable tool for mobile learning in Africa. Why mobile learning is important in Africa is that Africa has a large population and it needs to be empowered with digital education or digital knowledge so that we can manage our resources for sustainability. And Africa has a challenge of, Africa education has a challenge of poor infrastructure. We find that there are less infrastructure like networks in the continent. And also there's low quality education based on the STEM program, based on the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics due to some other challenges like poor infrastructures. And also you find that in other countries, you find that there are a large number of classes of students per class. So this hinders also quality education in Africa. And there is also low use of technology. Low use of technology can hinder also education quality in Africa, because if you look at the technological that are being used right now based on the digital technology, so if Africa cannot use or have a less use of technology, cannot do much, and this can lower the education system of Africa. I believe that a digital education base can improve the education system of Africa and can empower all. And we'll find that most of the people will be involved. They can learn at a distance or wherever they are easily. So also looking at the environmental learning environment for African countries, most of them sometimes they are poor environment, learning environment, because you find that there are countries where students are still being taught under the shades, like outside the roofing. Others are crowded and so on. This hinders also students to learn more or to concentrate on their education. So when I say STEM education can be used as a sustainable for mobile learning in Africa, is that if you look at STEM, it means many science, technology, and engineering. These programs, they can advance the student knowledge of thinking. Like students can think, because if you look at the engineering, the meaning of engineering, which is the designing, testing, and building of machine structures, it can be anything that the student or they want to learn or wants to design. It needs somebody who's thinking, or it can improve the learner to think, because when you look at the process of design of engineering object, you find that a learner has to define what he or she wants to do. He has to identify the problem. Like example, if we talk of educational problem, let's say students want to design a computer. As a learner have to decide exactly what type of computer can he or she design that can be used to manage maybe other problems, can manage problems that are being faced in education. And also find that the student or the learner has to test it. So by by testing or by brainstorming on what the student wants to do, it also increases the knowledge, or the student can think and also come up with better solutions. So basing on engineering can also improve the learning system. And when you talk of technology, which is the use of scientific knowledge for practical purposes and application, technology here, I mean the digital technology. We see nowadays there are advanced technologies that like the use of smartphones, of laptops, of Wi-Fi, any technology that can be linked to internet technologies. Also, this can also improve the learning system. And looking at Africa population, linking it with growth also, like growth, the growth of African population, you see that the population is large, and this can only be managed by digitalization, because digital technology involves everyone, or if most of our equipments are digitalized, or if we can empower our children with the digital technology, it will be easy for them to learn at school, and also by learning at school, they can also link or teach their parents at home. So the community will be equipped with digital knowledge for sustainability. And also this can also Africa can move from linear transformation to exponential growth that is linked with a digital technology. So this is what I call a poor learning environment. As you can see on the screen, that poor learning environment find that a lecturer or teacher will teach using manual blackboards, the writing. Sometimes the student cannot see properly the writing of the teacher, and everything is done manual. And if you look also at the picture on the right side, where the students are crowded or reading one book here, and others they are behind, they're waiting for this one to finish. So if you look at it, how long will it take for the whole class to be covered, and how many subjects can be covered per day, and so on. So this can also hinders the student, to hinders the learning system or student performance. So also looking at the teacher, you find that this on the left bottom side, it is tiring job to write the whole day. Sometimes you find that maybe the teacher will end up having challenges of eyesight because of dust of the material that are being used also. So that's what I call a learning environment that is poor. And also sometimes find that some teachers can use one student to teach others, as you can see here, and it doesn't motivate learners to learn because of the environment. So this is another example that I can compare with the other one for manual education system or non-STEM education system. So this is the digital or STEM education system, where I see you can see a teacher here is teaching online using computers, and students. If you look at the classroom setup, is formal, and you see that the student can be it can motivate students to learn. As you can see, this bottom one, students are raising hands to ask questions because they are looking at what is happening on the computers. They are motivated, and they can start thinking there what is happening and what is happening in the computer. As you can see here, they are also holding the smartphones that can also assist the student to learn very fast, to discuss with their friends, and also to take the same knowledge home to their parents, and they can work as a team. This can involve the teacher, the student, and the parents as well. So that's we call a digital learning or advanced or modern learning education system. So when you talk of sustainable learning skills, there are sustainable learning skills that I can talk about, like critical thinking, creativity, collaboration, and communication. The critical thinking is linked to, like I said, the STEM program. The student or learner has to think about the design, has to test, and has to evaluate whether what he has designed can solve the solutions of what is needed. Creativity is also about voice. A learner to be creative have to think. So all this can contribute to sustainable learning, and these are the sustainable skills, because collaboration, as a learner has to collaborate with the teacher, can collaborate with the parents, with other students, and also communication as well is important. So when you say critical thinking, learners are able to observe, analyze, interpret, and evaluate objects of interest or what they want to design to bring in solution to the community. So critical thinking is also a result of a STEM program. And STEM programs promote critical thinking. Like I've said, that a learner has to think, has to evaluate, and has to also to test the objects or the objects that the student or the learner wants to design. And also STEM can increase critical thinking and leading to exponential thinking. Exponential thinking, moving from one stage to another, but in a growth rate sort of. Because if we give an example of STEM increased critical thinking, is that previously we found that the students were using calculators to calculate the formulas and so on. But now currently we see the students are using computers as well. So this is a trend. So it increases the thinking, like, or this is what I can call exponential growth when it comes to technology. So, and also critical thinking based on the information communication tools is that ICT tools promote critical thinking, because if you look at the web browsing, students or learners, they use internet to browse, they use internet to view objects, to view things, and they end up finding out new things that they can also admire, that I want to do this kind of modern technology or this kind of modern car or modern tool that can assist our community. And also multimedia. This multimedia is also a critical thinking skill under ICT. And also computer application, because I said nowadays you see our students, they're using computers. By using computers, they can develop skills on programming, skills on coding, skills on designing, on engineering, like designing of computers, designing of other engineering tools or products. So this can bring a sustainable knowledge sharing. It is because of STEM program and also because of mobile learning system. And this is driven by critical thinking skills, by online learning, and by STEM program. By having all this, if Africa can improve or have all this, the world can end up being a digitalization, end up in a digital transformation, and everyone will be involved, and you'll find that at the end we'll have a sustainable education, modern education, and this can bring a mobile education to all. Learners need to be empowered with advanced skills and knowledge that is aligned with the 21st century and the fourth industrial revolution, that is digitalization. And it can work for sustainable development and also to achieve the sustainable development goal number 4, quality education. So this quality education, if can be based on the digital programs or programs that can that improves digital systems or digitalization in Africa, Africa can do much. Thank you.
Thank you so much. It was a great session. We're going to have questions posted in the chat box, requesting you to kindly go ahead and answer the questions. And then we will take it forward from there. The questions are right there.
Yeah, there's a question that says, what can we do to boost or improve the quality of education with large class and poor technology? This, I think, if Africa can work as a team to improve the infrastructures like the internet connectivity, then after that, centralize some of the infrastructures, we can manage to solve the challenge of poor technology, poor use of technology. So the another question is that, is that true? That's true that most schools don't have electricity, and the way teaching is also poor. What are strategies that a teacher can do to improve her or his teaching despite of the given problem? I believe that as a teacher, you have to be committed, and to be committed to the community, you sometimes have to divide the class and give yourself time to cover all students so that it can, for sustainability, because as a teacher, you are the mother, you are the father, you are the government to those schools, to those students that you are teaching. So more time can be given to students to solve that challenge. The other one is, the mobile devices from your presentation, the ones used for communication, or they are designed specifically for learning? So mobile devices can be like smartphones. There are smartphones that you can use like to upload some presentations, some papers. Like if you give an example of smartphone and use the use of WhatsApp. WhatsApp, as you can see, sharing of information. Some people, they can share photos. So we can also share educational materials with our students as well using smartphones. And also, because with smartphones, you can share digital materials on Words, digital material on PowerPoints that can be used also to teach students. We can maybe record your lectures and share with students on WhatsApp. And the other question is that the difference between critical thinking and exponential thinking. Critical thinking is when a learner thinks, it involves the process of, let's say, for example, designing. You design, you think about what you want to design, then you design it. Then after that, you process whatever you want to, whatever you are designing, you evaluate, you test it. So by doing so, you think because you are like a researcher, you are exploring. And also, the more you do, let's say today you are doing a program one, then tomorrow you can improve program two by advancing. So this advancing, I can say that is exponential thinking, because you are not linear. You didn't do once and stop there. You have designed object one with some tools. Tomorrow you add another tool, until that's what I call exponential thinking. So the other one is mobile learning is very useful. What could African government schools administrators do to actually afford them for their impoverished students? So the mobile learning, sometimes you find that there are tools that are open source. Open source, we mean the tools that you can use freely, that are online. This can also be used also by the African government to try to improve the education system or to assist the students. The last question is, will we really achieve the 4.0 industrial revolution skills by the year 2030 as the target is SDGs, bearing in mind the state of education in most global South countries? I believe that we will achieve the 4.0 industrial revolution skills, but we may not be 100%, but we are improving. As you can see, many countries are now covered, and also, like I said, that because of use of online free resources like mobile learning applications that can be used, can also increase that one, because we see currently Africa, we're using non-smartphones, but mostly current these days we are using smartphones, and we see our students, the problems in many countries, they are now learning computers, they are now using smartphones. And also, if you look at the current situation of COVID-19 has improved a lot, because most of the schools, most of the universities, primary, secondary schools were using smartphones. They also moved from manual, and also were trying to use the free applications that can be used, ICT tools that can be used for online learning.
Well, with that, Ms. Basito, thank you so much for going ahead and giving such a nice and interactive session. We have a lot of questions pouring in, but we have time crunch. We're going to go ahead and email it to you so that you can go ahead and reply back to our delegates. It was a pleasure listening to you. Hope you have a great day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.